Some people say, well, Pastor, I can't change. This is just who I am. Some people even have go a little bit deeper to say, well, my father is like this and I am like this and that's how I must be. Okay, let's begin to address all of them and destroy weapons that Satan is using against your growth in the spirit. The first one is called epigenetics. The next one will be called neuroplasticity. And of course, the two of them will help you understand that the subconscious can be adjusted by reason of use, as scripture has said. Epigenetics.
Discovery research in epigenetics seeks to understand how the environment influences regulation of genes packed within our chromatin. Epigenetic machinery modifies accessibility of regions in DNA by adding marks to the tails of histones to create epigenetic patterns of chromatin modifications. The addition of an acetyl group to a histone tail changes the electrochemical charge of the histone, causing it to relax and release the DNA. This makes the DNA in that region more accessible to transcription machinery and allows that gene to be expressed.
Now, science is saying that they have even agreed with the fact that epigenetics can modify a person's genetical construction. If genetics cannot be affected and changed, then you can have something to use against God on the day of judgment and say, oh Lord, I would have done greatly for you, but I'm sorry, my father was very angry, so that's why I could not stop being angry. So I used that anger to destroy people in the church, offend people and drive them from the church. So even though your parents are genetically angry people, you can affect that genetical construction and produce another representation from your life. Epigenetics in science confirms this. He says, just expose the person to another condition for a long period of time. He says that genetical strain will be affected. This new guy can begin to produce a new genetics different from his father's own. That is, I came from the genetics of an angry father. Now I have been influenced to be loving. I can now naturally transplant a genetical strain into another child, not to be angry, but to be loving. This is even science. What did the Bible tell you in Malachi? It says producing godly seed. That means we can produce godly seed. That's why you choose who you get married to. Because they will not only affect only you, they will affect your children. So if they're terrible, they'll produce terrible generation, which will be a problem to the society. If they're wonderful, they'll produce a wonderful generation. That is epigenetics. Now we also have what we call neuroplasticity.
Neuroplasticity is the ability of the brain to change or rewire throughout a person's life. It is the basis of learning and brain repair after injuries.
So he says the brain can be elastic. It can expand. If you put an individual in a new environment where he sees that he can do more, he will begin to try to do more and he will succeed to do more. But the brain will start by sending an error signal to the individual of saying, I am no longer in safe mode. That is deceptive, even though helpful in its construction. Not because what you have brought it to is not safe, but because you have not trained him to see that as safe. So until the subconscious is invaded with a higher thought of the world, you cannot get better result. So what did he tell you? Romans chapter number 12, verse number 2. Be ye transformed by the renewing, changing of your mind. Until you change your mind, your life cannot change. As a man thinketh, so is he. So your output today is a function of your present reasoning. You are not a function of all the information that you have. You are a function of all the editing that you have made by the information that you have. So don't be excited because you have heard. Be excited when you start to change of what you have heard. And changing is not an act, it's a character. So it says, by reason of use, have their senses exercised. So this is how we change people as against entertain people. We have too much entertainment in the church. That's why people are not growing. Christianity is not an act of performance. It's impartation to transformation. Once people are not changing, your action is a waste. Performance is an act of intelligence. Transformation is an act of spirituality. So we have a lot of people who teach great and new things, and the people just become informed but not transformed. Don't just be informed, be transformed by reason of use. Glory to God.